Dr. Pirtle speaks around the world. He delivers a weekly lecture at Miracle Resort, contracts with Sierra Tucson, is faculty at Arizona Center for Integrative Medicine. He's a practitioner, retreat leader, author, and now filmmaker. So let's sit tall as Mark connects the dots between science, spirituality, and wellness. And I welcome Dr. Mark Pirtle.
Thanks so much, Tracy. Appreciate you. Hi, everybody. Am I going to not be able to move up here? Hi. Wow, what an honor to be here. I want to thank Tracy and Jennifer of IONS, first of all. What an amazing organization. I'm really honored to be able to speak for a group that represents teachers and healers that want to increase our awareness of our consciousness and help us evolve as people. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to try to, like Tracy said, connect some dots for you. And a lot of what I'm going to say will be already intuitively apparent to you. But what I want to do is I want to help articulate it perhaps in another way that helps you get it a little bit more deeply. My hope is that at the very end of this talk, I can lead a meditation and put the entire group in a very deep meditative state, and we can experience the emptiness of our own minds as well, where all the healing really happens. Let's start with a thought experiment, okay? And look at this slide here and notice as you look at it, it looks like you're looking into empty space. And that's exactly what I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine the deepest, most empty part of space. Good. And here's my question for you. Are there any problems there? Anybody have an answer for me? No is the answer. Thank you, brave soul. Empty space. And if anybody doesn't understand the logic, here's the logic. Empty space is empty. A problem is a thing. No thing is there. No problems. Make sense? Okay, so now let's take this a little further. Now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you are there in the space. Okay, and I really want you to think about the perspective of it's you that's looking out from behind that helmet. And there is a million light years of nothing. Are there problems now? I heard a yes, right? If it were me, I'd be freaking out, right? How long is the oxygen going to last? I'm freezing, it's cold, I'm getting hungry, where do I go to the bathroom, right? Houston, there are problems. Okay, and as soon as there is a self in a space, let me just ask you to think of yourself right now. Think of yourself as you sit there. Okay, now, what is that you just thought of? Does anybody have an answer for me? Physical body? Me, okay. So what if we started taking the physical body apart and we start with the finger? Would that be the self? Would the eye be the self? Would the heart be the self? Would the brain be the self? We could, like imagine we had a car and we laid out all the parts. Would we find the car in any of the parts? Notice that we wouldn't, right? Okay, so the self, strangely, if you think about it deeply, even though all of us assume that there is a self that can be found in here, if we start looking, it's really difficult to find. So let me suggest that the self, if it is anything, it's a story. And we all have that story running through our mind. And the reason the story gets imprinted in us is we have this brain, and as soon as we're popped out, the right side of our brain starts encoding all of the picture-like thoughts of ourselves, and it's very autobiographical. And the left side of our brain starts encoding, once we're about 2 years old, all the linguistic thoughts. And you put both of those types of thinking together, and what you get is it's like a docudrama of me that lives in our head. And every time we think of ourselves, that's what our attention brings up. So the self is our story. Now what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to show you how, if we cling to that, especially if that story is tinged with themes of threat or loss or injustice, we're going to develop emotions that can dysregulate our biochemistry and make us sick.